Annyeong, it's Mikey here, and I want to thank you guys so much that I'm actually at 2,000 subscribers now. Thank you guys so much for all the support, and I can't believe how far this channel has come. Now, today's video is gonna be a bit of a question as well as like doing a review. Now, the Rainy 75 creators Wobkey has now created a sequel 10 keyless keyboard. Biggest question, is it worth giving it a second chance? I mean, with the whole issues that they had originally with the Kickstarter, even I had the same issues. I heard it got better, but is this keyboard truly worth giving a chance again? Would you give Wobkey a second chance? So let's get straight into doing the unboxing and doing everything with the review. And please make sure to like, subscribe, because it really helps growing this channel.
Now let's get started with the unboxing of the Crush 80 by Wobkey. Now this, guys, is their new Beta Crush 80 TKL. I bought this in beta and we're gonna take a look. This comes with a nice carrying case and it comes with the manual. I do apologize, guys, that the lighting is a little bit off. I was trying to do some things to fix up my lighting, but I may have failed this time. Now we do get some extra accessories in the box, so it gives you some extra of the silicone padding and the gasket mounts and much more. Now you do get a decent braided cable and a switch puller and a keycap puller. And then this is going to come with extra screws, so if say you stripped one or you lost one when you opened it up, they're giving you some extra screws to put it back together. This is not like a screw-in keyboard, but you know, they give you those for the case. Now this is the extra switch. This switch is the HMX Frost, so that is a new switch that they're using. And you also get this nice steel plate, so you don't just get the original FR4 plate inside, you do get an extra steel plate with the keyboard. Now this of course is going to have the ultra low latency mode, but let's take a look at the actual board itself. Now I got the Pro version, and so as you can see here, actually comes with a Poron foam for the bottom of the board. We will take a look at that a little bit later when we're actually doing the modding. Let's open up the keyboard and take a look. My apologies, the mic slightly popped there. Now, taking a look at this board, it is a nice board. I mean, I honestly have to admit that Wobkey has been making a really nice keyboard, especially with the Rainy and this one. In terms of the looks and everything, it has been well done. And this board looks really nice, actually. Like, I have to admit, the design is really cool. I really have to say it's well done. Now one thing I'm gonna do is weigh the board, because this is quite of a heavy board, before I go into doing like the sound test and more. So as you guys see, this is gonna be one of those ball bearing mounts, and let's take a see at how much this weighs before the sound test. So this weighs about 2.3 kilos. So now that we're done with the sound tests, let's take a look what's inside of this keyboard. So as you can see there, that's going to be the F44 plate that they're using. And you know what? Like, I have to admit, they do some really cool stuff with their foam and makes the keyboard sound really nice. So we're going to open up the bottom to take a look to see what's actually there and how much battery capacity and more. So let me grab my screwdriver and open it up. So now that we got the screws out, let's take a look at the bottom. So that's actually a weight. So it's really cool though that it does have this little space for the USB dongle. I wasn't able to do it early in the unboxing, but once I opened it up, I noticed, the USB dongle is actually in there. And the metal piece isn't actually that difficult to grab out. I'm just being very, very dumb right there and not getting open very easily. But that's a really, really interesting solution to where to put the USB dongle compared to just having it separately. Now, as I said, the switch where you can turn on the wireless is going to be underneath the cap locks still. I really wish they didn't do that. They're doing something really cool here. This has two 3,750 milliamp hour batteries. So you do have a lot of battery capacity on this and it will last a long time. Though one of the things I noticed while using it wirelessly is that the batteries did drain kind of quickly. That is something I'll bring up more in the review. Now, I think this is an incredibly creative solution, like where to put the USB dongle. And taking a look, we can see it has a foam in between the PCB and the plate. I think, yeah, they have done such a good job on making a good sounding keyboard. I mean, the knobbles is not amazing. I've seen other companies do some more interesting things, especially when it comes to a ball bearing mount. But as you can see there, it has a nice back foam for the PCB and the bottom foam as well with this static sheet on top. I have to admit, Wobkey has done something really good and kind of creative. And we're going to do a sound test with the Poron foam extra on bottom instead of just modifying the keyboard itself. But, you know, one thing I do always say from my other reviews, especially with ball bearing keyboards, is that you really don't have a lot of space to do modifications. And I find that quite unfortunate. But we'll try the Poron foam, see how that sounds. We'll also do one with the steel plate as well. And maybe if I can do other mods, I'll show you guys what is possible. So I'm going to try doing a tape mod on this board. Let's see, we did the sound test with just the Poron foam added, which they provide, right? We're going to try to see, can we do extra mods to this board? I mean, it already sounds great. I have to admit, it does already sound great, but let's see what more we can do. Like, if it's possible, is there space? Just so that if anyone is really planning to grab this board, they have an idea whether or not it is possible. So we're just going to do one layer of tape mod. This is just to see if we have enough space to actually do the tape mod, because there's a possible chance that we might not be able to. I also have replaced the stabilizer. So the stabilizers I've changed the whole board with is the new designer plate mount stabilizers. These stabilizers, guys, are really, really great. Like, for the price that you're paying for these stabilizers, dang, I can't believe how great these are, because I spent maybe $8 with shipping, Canadian. That's like 6 USD or less probably. So we're going to try to put on the plate to see if it's possible or if it has room. If it slips right off, yes it did, we're not going to be able to do tape mods or add extra things to this board. So instead, I'm just going to give you the steel plate sound test. So this is Rainy 75's predecessor, Wobkey's newest keyboard, the 10 keyless Crush 80. I have to admit, this keyboard sounds amazing. And you know one thing that's interesting? The steel plate too. A lot of times steel plates aren't always the greatest and it has sometimes a metal pink to it. It's been great. And I love the fact that they provide you with the 2 different plates. Because normally you get just one. It is nice to see the ability to have a different plate and try out different sounds. Now, as you can see here, they do provide an ultra low latency. And I really want to go into like the actual software of the board, or what specifically the latency. So, this keyboard is VIA compatible. Now let's take a look on Wobkey's website of the Crush 80. So I got the beta version. Right now they're currently on their reboot Pro or the Live. So as we can take a look here, we'll see what it says. So we can see here there's 2 different versions with the non-RGB and the RGB Pro version. As I said, I got the Pro version. It's going to come with 7500 milliamp hour battery. You have an FR4 plate, and it comes with a steel plate. And yeah, this keyboard comes with so much. Like, it's not a cheap board, right? Right now it's in reboot, and it's at $169 USD. The beta was at $159, I think, or $169. It's hard for me to remember exactly, but from what they were saying, this keyboard is going to be about $200 US when it's fully released. That is not a cheap board, and it's not really a budget board anymore. Not from my opinion. Even though they said for a ball bearing keyboard and it's comparable to like $250 keyboards. I mean, I've had the Neo 80, which was a lot cheaper, right? It cost me 200 Canadian, not 200 USD. Now, yes, the Wobkey does sound amazing. Like, let's take a look here. We can see here from the beta, which I had, compared to the reboot, they made some changes, not like a crazy amount. I wouldn't say enough to affect the keyboard, where my review is going to be completely useless. It's just some, just making the keyboard a little bit nicer before the final revision. So let's go take a look at the VIA. So I tried to go on Wobkey's website to find the actual VIA file for you guys, but I wasn't able to find it. During the beta, it was there on the website. Very easy to find, but it does work right now. It is actually a working version, so I can make different changes, lighting, if I want to remap something, key testers, everything. It does work with the VIA, and it's gonna most likely be hopefully much more refined by the time it comes out. And they're doing a lot of different things that make sure that it's working well with the VIA. So the next thing I want to show you guys is Keyboard Inspector. So I don't have a tool to actually test the latency. So what I'm going to do is do a test here and show you guys without the ultra low latency, you're getting 500 hertz. That's not the best, especially for a $200 keyboard, especially if you're going to use it for gaming and such. But with the ultra high latency, it peaks at 2000. Of course, that's not an accurate measure. It actually should be at 1000 hertz. Probably due to how I was testing, I was using 3 keys. It could have had a peak like that, but I think it also shows the fact that the ultra high latency does work really well. And I have to admit, I think their latency has been really good, specifically wired. Now, going back to the keyboard, they come with a really nice carrying case. I'm very, very appreciative that they did provide one. Not every keyboard does, and especially for that price range, it is really nice to have. Now, this keyboard does sound really great, guys. It's amazing how it sounds. There are some issues with this switch, though. So, when I was using this switch, the HMX Frost, when I opened it up and looped it, once I put it back into the keyboard, there was a bit of an issue. The issue was the fact that the switches weren't working properly, or it was double clicking, where it made the specific letter come up twice, even when I pressed it once. So this is something just to keep an eye on. Hopefully by the time it comes to the final revision, it's fine and there's no issues. Another thing to note, just like the Rainy 75 had, in the FR4 plate, the flex plate specifically, when you're trying to move a switch, it is really, really tight. It's incredibly tight. Even with the steel plate, I noticed it as well. So this is something really to keep in mind. I'm not sure why. If this is supposed to be flex, how it is and how it sounds, but when I'm typing on it, the specific FR4 plate makes it super, super heavy to type on, while the steel plate actually feels so much lighter. I know it doesn't affect everyone, but when you're thinking about using a light switch, you wouldn't think that it's going to be feeling heavy, but it does feel very heavy. Steel plate feels much lighter, much better. I would say the FR4 does sound better, but the steel plate sounds still good, and it's just easier on my hands. And I have tendonitis, or had it, so it might be the reason why I feel it a little bit more sensitive. But yeah, one thing again, I really, really wish if I'm paying 200 USD, that the the switch for the wireless would not be under the cap lock. Like, I think when Wobkey did something really, really creative with that USB dongle on the back, they could have also done it in somewhere on the keyboard that has a nice switch instead of under the caps lock. Like, I would really appreciate more companies to really consider this, because it is kind of a hassle, and it would be much appreciated. Now, I'm not sure what you guys think. I don't know what everyone's experience is with the Rainy 75. Would I say this keyboard is super worth it and you should spend the 200 right now to buy it? I would say wait out till the last final production. I know it's like there's a discount going right now because of the current status, but I would say just wait it out a little bit. Wobkey, I think, is really trying to put the effort to make up for the fact and make good boards, but I haven't experienced the customer service. I still haven't received any response from my previous Range 75 issues, so it's hard to say. I'm really curious though. Would you guys be willing to give it a second chance? And I did hear though the quality control got better for the 75, so maybe it's gotten a lot better. Hard to say. I mean, this is a nice board though. I can't deny that.
What did you guys think of this 10 keyless Crush 80 from Wobkey? I mean, I would love to hear what you guys think down below in the comments. And would you be willing to give this company another chance? I mean, I gotta admit, this keyboard does sound great. Like, they make good keyboards. They make a good sounding keyboard. Now, the only unfortunate thing is the fact that it isn't cheap. Like, the Rainy 75 was a really cool budget keyboard that really was budget. Now, they're claiming that this is going to be as good as a lot of the other more expensive boards that are around $250 USD. This is right now in beta for 155 USD, but it's supposed to go to 200 USD once it's fully released and done. Now, I don't know if they're planning to change that or not. That's just what the original thing that they said was. Now, for $200, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's a great board though, and it does sound really amazing. I have to admit, this was well done. I have to truly admit that this was well done. It's a very great sounding board, and I think I'm gonna actually be keeping this one. This is the Pro version, and I really do enjoy it. Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I really do enjoy it, and I have to say it's one of my better boards right now. So please let me know down below in the comments what do you guys think, and would you be willing to give them a second chance? And would you love this 10 keyless? So I'll catch you guys next time, and please make sure to check out the other videos I got.